What's up, Bods? Welcome to the Baud Fawk Sports podcast. I'm here with my bro.
Yo, my name's Justin. What's up, everyone?
Um, and so just an intro about ourselves. I'm a Chelsea fan, as you guys can see, Conte on the back. Um, I am French and Italian, so those are my international teams. And Justin, as you can see, is a Man U fan.
Yeah, big Manchester United fan. Sadly, no one's on the back of this one. And I'm like an eighth English, so I support the English national team, of course. So yeah, those are the teams that I support.
So today for our first podcast, we're just going to be reviewing some of the games, going in depth on where the Premier League table is at now, um, talking about Manchester City slipping up at home, and Manchester United dominating Spurs and the rest of the big games that happened. So, Justin, if you would like to start us off.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Manchester City slipped up at home against Crystal Palace. It's kind of an interesting result, to the table. Early on in the game, Zaha would get the first goal. Then Aymeric Laporte would, lose his head and just, concede. So,
Do you think that was a red?
I mean, like I saw it and I don't know if it was a red just because it was so far from the goal. But
Yeah.
I could Premier League referees are so, up and down. They're kind of inconsistent.
Agree.
For me, it was a yellow card. So I was kind of shocked. But yeah, it ultimately cost them the game. I feel like in the second half, they were just pressing and they couldn't really score. And then, second half, Conor Gallagher scored on a counterattack and they were able to win 2-0.
Chelsea boy through and through. He's going to help us win the league.
Oh, yeah.
No, he played fantastic, obviously. Standout player for sure. I don't know if he has a future at Chelsea right now. Like, we have a lot of good midfielders. I think like he will get in eventually when our older players start, getting out of the rotation. Like Conte's getting up there and stuff. But he's looking really good, man. Like I'm excited for him for sure. He's solid.
Yeah, no, he has been balling for sure for Palace.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like I think if I was the ref in that situation, I would have given a red because it like the way he turned, like he was gonna go straight, like no one was gonna catch him, bro. He was gonna be through on goal for sure.
Yeah.
So I agree with the red, but I can see like why someone would say yellow, like it was kind of far.
Yeah.
But for me, like I know Zaha is just so fast. I knew he was gonna get there. So for me, that was a red. That was a fair decision. But you know,
I think for me the most interesting stat though is that Zaha's opening goal is the first goal that City conceded at home all season. It's a pretty good defensive stat from them. Did not even realize that was a thing. So that record comes to an end for the City fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with it.
Yeah,
it's all great to me. As long as they keep dropping points, Chelsea keep going up. And also I despise Laporte. So
I wonder why.
So you're gonna just turn down France and go to Spain. I hope you get a red every game.
Bro. But yeah, like I love seeing City in the mud. Obviously it's a Manchester United fan. So when I saw the result that it was 2-0 at home, I was very happy.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought Palace, like they looked like they wanted it more, like City had a couple of chances. Grealish looked pretty good.
But yeah, second half Grealish was on it for sure.
I don't know, maybe Vieira is there to stay. I thought maybe he wasn't ready for like the job. I thought Crystal Palace is a hard job, but I don't know, like Crystal Palace actually looked decent. Do you think Vieira will stay there for a while?
It'll be interesting to see because at first I kind of thought it would be like similar to like a Lampard situation at Chelsea. Maybe he would just be there for a bit, maybe struggle and then get replaced. But he's had a decent start. That result against Arsenal, I think a few weeks back, that was a good result.
They deserve to win that game.
Yeah, so unlucky at the end. And then yesterday they got the result against City. So maybe he will be there long term, or he'll just like seek a new job after. But I think he'll definitely stay for a couple of seasons, barring anything happens, of course.
Yeah, obviously, like anything can happen in the Prem. A lot of clubs are very eager to switch out managers.
Yeah.
I guess that's a great segment to the El Sacico.
Oh,
Manchester United, Tottenham. Um, you guys, you go ahead, man. You guys
yeah, like
dominated.
it was a great game. I feel like the new system that only played the 3-5-2 or 5-2, whatever you want to call it. It was just
I think it was
very
three
good
five.
to see. Yeah, so I thought Wan-Bissaka was class. I thought the link up of Bruno, Cavani, and Ronaldo, they were on it all day. And I think, obviously, we're not United won, but damn, like Spurs are just really bad, like having a
I
really
know.
bad start to the
It
season.
makes me
Like,
really happy though. So,
yeah, of course.
as a
But
Chelsea
yeah,
fan, seeing
yeah,
Tottenham be terrible is like one of my favorite feelings in the entire world. It's amazing.
yes. Yeah.
Um, I wanted to bring up just real quick Ronaldo,
See?
um, oldest uh, oldest player tied with Drogba to score and assist in a game,
Yeah, I saw
uh,
that. That was
and they
really
both did it
impressive.
against Tottenham. So
Yes.
that was amazing. Like, what are
I,
your thoughts on Ronaldo's performance?
Yeah, I thought he played very good. He was sharp. He was running around a bit more because he was playing with two strikers. So he was playing kind of like a left forward at times. He was like running down the wing with Shaw. So that was good to see. And I thought, him and Cavani are just like, natural goal scorers and they're smart
Yeah.
players, right? So they have a really nice link up. I think that's the first time we've seen them play together, like both at striker with Bruno behind.
Mhm.
I thought that was a good change. And,
It looked good. Like,
yeah.
to be fair, like it is against Tottenham.
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
that's the thing. Like, if this happened last year, I would have been like, yo, it's a massive result because, like,
Mhm.
Mourinho's Tottenham were actually like, competitive. You got to take this with a grain of salt. Like, Nuno's Tottenham, they just, Harry Kane has one goal, I think it is, in 9 games.
Yeah,
They just don't look good. So it really looked like we were facing like a bottom tier team. So, like, I was happy with the result, but, things got to change. And, like, Tottenham is not the team, to do it
yeah.
against.
Like for me, like I don't know. I know how you feel, obviously, but there are a lot of people who like to blame Ronaldo for Man United struggles. Like I've been seeing it a lot. Even Man United fans blaming Ronaldo, and for me, like that shocks me so much because, in my opinion, and I know in your opinion, Ronaldo was one of the best additions you guys have made in the past like 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Him coming back was like perfect. Everyone wants Ronaldo up front. Like
Yeah.
I would love Ronaldo at Chelsea. Like I don't see the argument for him being the problem. I think it's a bad argument. I think if anything, it shows the weaknesses of the team more
Yeah.
because Ronaldo, like he comes in and he expects winning, he expects greatness, and if you can't provide that, it's not his fault. Like he's there to win. Um, so I think the argument that he's like at fault for Juve and Man United, and I just think it's shocking. It's bad. He's clearly class.
Yeah, and like yesterday, like I know he said it was Tottenham, but still, like he showed his class. Being the oldest player with Drogba to score an assist in a game, like that's obviously, it just shows he's not slowing down. And
Yeah.
I think the craziest fact is that was his first Premier League assist since 2009. So maybe he has to improve on that. Why has it been so long? No, I'm joking, but yeah. So I think he's class. I don't think he's really had a bad game for us. I know there are those fans online who expect him to score 10 goals a game. It's like it's just not going to happen. But I think the best thing about Ronaldo is that he has that link up with Bruno from like the Portuguese team. They speak the same language that helps in like the dressing room and stuff like that. And like for his first goal, or sorry, his only goal of the game, as soon as Bruno got the ball, like you see him come back on side and then make the run, and
Yeah.
Bruno just looks up and he quickly sends it
That's
in. It
just
was a
the
great
intelligence
ball.
of Ronaldo. He's just so much smarter than pretty
Yeah,
much everyone else. You know what I mean? His
yeah,
IQ is insane. But like I thought Bruno's pass was insane. That was a great pass.
yeah.
Um, and great finish by Ronaldo. Just just right across the keeper. Nice little like it looked like a half volley, I think. Like it was just that was a wonderful strike. And then his assist for Cavani was amazing as well.
Yeah.
So he just looked great. Um, what do you think about Ole?
Okay. So here's where might be the toxic fan coming out, but like, see, he's a club legend, there's no doubt about that. So I'm not even gonna consider that, not tarnishing his player legacy, but just as a manager, I think I think it's time to go, honestly. And I think Liverpool should have been it. To be honest, I thought Young Boy should have been it, which might have been reactionary, but I just think like I hate to say it because I know how passionate he is for the club and I know how much he wants to win with the club. But I think with Ole, I just don't think we're going to win with the club. And like, it's kind of sad to say, but I think he peaked at losing the Europa League final. Like, yes, circumstances, it was a 11-10 penalty shootout, whatever it was. But like, to me, if you can't win the Europa League final, then it's like, then maybe like, you're just a transitional manager. Because like, he can bounce back. I'm not saying he can't, but like, we don't have time for him to bounce back. Like if we were in a position, like a transitional period, like, Liverpool was when they got Klopp, then I'd be like, yeah, let's give Ole like 5-7 years kind of thing, like in between that. But like, we don't have time, to wait that long. Like Ronaldo's not getting
You
any.
guys were in that period a bit when he first came in. I
Yeah,
think he's done a great job. Like, obviously, I'm not a huge Ole fan, right? I don't really care about Ole, but I think he did a great job at transitioning you guys into the stage just before becoming like elite.
yeah.
And then like I just think you guys need another manager to bring you to glory. You know what I mean? Like whether that's an Antonio Conte. Apparently you guys are in for Brendan Rodgers.
I read that. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I think he's a great manager, but like, yeah, I don't know about that one.
I'm not too high on Brendan Rodgers. I think he's like mid, to be
Yeah, I
honest.
think that's valid.
Like I don't think he's the guy to bring you guys because we've seen him also choke
Yes.
multiple, with Liverpool in the
Yeah.
past, and then with Leicester in the past 2 years, they were clear for top four the entire season. Last like week or two, they bottle it, and then it's over for them. I just don't think he's the guy for you. I'm not too high on him. A lot of people like him a lot more than I do. Um, but I think an Antonio Conte is that guy for you. Zidane, I think would, but he's not gonna take the Man United job. Um, I don't know. There's not many options.
Yeah, I think, maybe we could ride out with Ole for like at this point. Like to me, if he's not gonna get sacked after Liverpool, I just don't think he's gonna get sacked unless something dramatic happens. So just with that being said, like maybe just stick with them and then see what it says at the end of the year. But yeah, like a lot of United fans that I talked to were saying the same thing. Like, who can you just bring in right now? Like Conte is there just because like, stuff didn't happen with Inter. So like that was kind of like, it's kind of lucky that that's there. But like besides Conte, it's like, I don't
There's
think
not a lot
Zidane
of
would come
options.
mid.
So it's like, why sack him if you're not going to get someone who's an immediate replacement who's like better? You know what I mean?
And like I don't want to go like because the last every time pretty much that we sacked a manager post Sir Alex, we've always had an interim for a bit, whether it's like 2 games, 10 games. Like I don't want to do that route again. Like I don't want to see like Ryan
Yeah,
Giggs.
might as well just keep Ole at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I just think that, he's a great servant for the club as a player, obviously. As a manager, like, he's recruited, like his player recruitment's been very good, because who would have thought that, like, we would have got Ronaldo, Varane, and Sancho in one window. It's like, I'll give him that. Like, he's clearly, does something right when it comes to recruitment. But I think, just as a manager and as like tactics, I just don't think right now he's like you said, like what we need to get for like forward. But it, like, good on him for bringing us back to that spot. But like since he couldn't win the Europa League final, I think that will be like sadly that'll be his legacy as a manager. Like he just came up short. We've lost 4 semifinals under him. We've lost, I think, 2 finals, if I'm not mistaken. I think we lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup final. So I think he was the manager there. We lost the Europa League final, obviously. So he just doesn't have he just doesn't have that winning mentality as a manager, or like that's killer instinct yet.
Yeah,
So,
he had it as a player, but
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
just as a manager, I just think he's not ready. Like I think like maybe what would be good for him is what I also thought about Lampard is go out, get some experience, win, and come back.
Yeah.
Later on in your career, like I would love for Lampard to do that. He clearly wasn't ready for Chelsea. Um, I think Ole, like I think he's done all he can right now for Man United, but he could become better. Managers also can get better or worse. Hence Jose Mourinho. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I think he should just go get some more experience at a lower team. Even still in the Prem, I don't think that would be a bad like a lower team in the Prem wouldn't be bad. Like Newcastle even or something. You know what I mean? Um, I think that would be fine. But and just get some more experience, come back, and then do what you can. But he set them up to win now, and he's
Yeah.
not the manager to win now. So like he kind of destroyed his own career. with Man United.
I
Right?
get what you're saying.
Yeah. So because you get Ronaldo and you have to win now.
Exactly. And it's like if we didn't have like Ronaldo, Cavani, if Pogba wasn't, on his last year, this could be his last year, for all we know. If De Gea wasn't like getting up there in age, like if we had like, like an under 25-ish squad, then I would say, yeah, let's ride out with this guy for like a bit. But like, like you said, you have to win now with Ronaldo, Cavani, Pogba, De Gea. Like those players aren't getting any younger. So that's why it's like sad to say, but like I just don't think, he can elevate us to the next level. But he's put us in that position to win. And I'm grateful for that, because he's brought look at everyone he's brought in, like people he's kept, the people he's got rid of. But I think now at this stage, it's like, okay, you know what? Like I've seen too much of McFred to know that we're not going to win with them. His tactics in the 4-2-3-1, like, no, it's a great formation, but I think under Solskjaer, it's so hit or miss. And it's like, teams like, you guys won the UCL last year, City, Liverpool, like consistency is how they won their titles. And the biggest thing about Man United is that we're not consistent. Like one day we're losing 5-0 to Liverpool. The next day we're putting on a masterclass winning 3-0 against Spurs. So it's like next week we could beat Man City 5-0. The week after, you could lose to Crystal Palace like 3-0.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the main difference. And I think, an Antonio Conte, even Zidane, if he came in, and I'm not even saying like Brendan Rodgers too, but like another manager would just establish that consistency. And I think that's what we need the most.
Yeah, I think Antonio Conte, I rate him highly. I wanted him to stay at Chelsea. I didn't want him to get sacked. I rate him highly. I think he would be the perfect manager for you guys. But I can see like why they're a little hesitant to get him. Conte does have some drawbacks. He's very controlling. He wants his whole team there, and he costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And with the Glazers, they're cheap. So I just think he's the clear option, because Zidane isn't going to take it. Brendan Rodgers isn't that guy, in my opinion. And who's it? The Ajax manager? I forget his name.
It's like Hang or something like that, or Eric something. Yeah, I like him, but I just don't think he's coming right now though. Which is
no, I don't think so. So I think probably just ride out with Ole if you're not, unless you're going to get Conte, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Nuno? How long do you think he's gonna last? I give him to like Christmas.
Yeah, like the thing about Tottenham is that last year, with Mourinho, you got Harry Kane. I think did he not have like 20 goals, 20 assists or something like that? Or like something close to that?
I think it wasn't 20 assists, but it was
like something ridiculous.
22 goals or something, and like 14 assists or something.
Yeah, so it was ridiculous. Crazy. You got
Lampard season.
Yeah, playing his best ball. You got Son, who's pretty good, and like you got some other guys like Ndombele, Højbjerg, and fucking also. Yeah, so they had like a decent foundation, but like they sacked Mourinho because of the Super League controversies, and that was their biggest mistake because
Tottenham, just before a final.
Oh yeah, that too. So they obviously, because Tottenham, they lost that final. So like I think the addition of Nuno would have been good if they didn't have like Mourinho, who was like already, like doing bits with them. And I think, like, again, I don't think Tottenham are a big club, obviously, but like with Mourinho, again, they could have made some new signings. They could have maybe challenged for the title. With Nuno, like, again, I'm not trying to like be disrespectful, but like that guy only signs like Portuguese players. And I think that's what he did again in the window, sign like some Portuguese guys. And
I think like the fact that they had Conte right there and passed him up.
Yeah, that too.
That's sad, bro.
Yeah. And I think maybe Nuno is like a Brendan Rodgers type beat in the sense where he's like a good manager for like a lesser team. I know Leicester won the league a bit ago, but like right now they're not like a top 6 team. But yeah, I just don't think as a top sign manager, I just don't think he's quality. And I think it's really shown because like Tottenham do have a talented squad on paper. Mourinho really unlocked that. But now it's like, damn, y'all, they look terrible against Manchester United. They didn't have a single shot on target all game, which was
that's pathetic. I think certain managers thrive in the underdog role. Like Ranieri, like he's very good with like that underdog kind of vibe. I think Nuno is that guy. Like I think he's good as an underdog manager. I don't think he's ready to manage like a bigger club. I'm not saying Tottenham are a big club, but like their aspirations are higher than I think what Nuno can bring them. I think the biggest mistake was sacking Pochettino.
Oh yeah, a few years back.
Their best ever manager. I think he's pretty class. You guys are actually linked with him again. Um,
No, I'm kidding, but
I don't know. I don't know if that's right for you guys either, because clearly he can't really win trophies.
yeah. It,
So
maybe that's why he was the match for Tottenham. Just couldn't win trophies, but was, a sick
that's
man.
why he's their best manager, bro.
Yeah.
He is Tottenham.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, like I just think Nuno, he was very not I won't call him like overrated, but with Newcastle, with Wolves, like you said, he was like that underdog manager. They played like they had nothing to lose every game, which is, was a good play style because they didn't back down from a challenge. Whenever United played them, I always thought, damn, like we might actually lose. I can't remember the last time we beat Wolves, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so I think the leap to Tottenham was just too big of a leap. And I think he's like, brought them back a few steps. So
yeah.
you said by Christmas, like I don't want to be like reactionary, but if I'm Daniel Levy, I could actually see him getting sacked this week, like 3-0 to United.
I could also see that. I'm just saying, like, I know he's cheap.
Yeah,
Daniel Levy's very cheap.
that is
so,
true. Yeah, that is true.
Like, I feel like he's gonna stick it out until it looks really bad,
Yeah,
and then he's gonna be like, okay, like I have to.
yeah.
But I don't know. Like, Nuno doesn't seem like the man for the job. He's not really getting anything out of Harry Kane. Harry Kane, he looks shocking right now, man. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, he's what, 1 goal in 9 games or something. It's
It's pretty pathetic.
compared to last season. You
Yeah.
know,
Like last season, he looked like a top 3 striker in the world, maybe even just right behind Lewandowski. This year, like Mikel Antonio has easily been better. Like if England were to play a game right now, I'd rather have Antonio than Conte.
yeah, even
Besides Kane, but yeah,
even I know he's injured, but Patrick Bamford, I would
yeah,
rather have in that, or even just Rashford at striker.
yeah,
He can always
exactly.
do
A
the
lot
job.
of people, even
Greenwood.
Foden, that striker, because Foden's been
Greenwood.
playing, yeah, Greenwood too. Like these are
Like they're all being like they've all been better than Harry Kane, which
and
is
got to give a
crazy.
quick shout out to Tammy Abraham, who's been killing it in Serie A. So I'd rather him at striker too. So yeah, Harry
Actually
Kane,
don't think he's been killing it. He started off really good and he just hasn't really done much.
bro, it's just better than Harry Kane though.
No, like he is better. That's
Yeah.
facts. Like
That's
if he stayed at Chelsea, like we would be like 20 points clear.
Exactly. He'd get a hat trick every game. Just so
I
good.
think we have like 23 points, but Tammy's just so good.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about the Chelsea game
Yes.
against Newcastle. Obviously St. James Park, it's been like that's like our bogey team. But for some reason, when we go away to Newcastle, we never play our best. So I was kind of nervous, but Tuchel, he is so good. In my opinion, you can call me crazy, best manager in the world currently.
That's a valid take. He did just win UEFA Men's Coach of the Year, won the Champions League, and his tactics are just like Chelsea are easily the hardest team to play against, I would say, at the moment. Whether it's home or away, they just had that setup, and it's like, damn, like you're going to be under a challenge with when you play against Tuchel.
Yeah, like it's such a great system, and the players, like, they all buy into it. That's another big thing about every manager. You need the players to buy into the system. And right now, I don't see a single player besides maybe Ziyech who doesn't like fully buy into the system.
Yeah.
Ziyech, man, I can't give you enough words for how disappointing.
Yeah,
Ziyech
he
is.
was like a top prospect a few years back with Ajax. That UCL run was crazy. He even scored against Chelsea that one year, the following year at the bridge.
It was actually
Yeah, like I don't know what's happened with Ziyech, because like once upon a time he was like, you could say like a top 5 player in the world in his position. Like he was just balling left, right, and center, creating chances. His dribbling was world class. But now he just looks like a completely different player at Chelsea.
He was actually really good under Lampard.
Yeah.
And I think that's because Lampard played a 4-3-3 and played him out in the wing.
Yeah.
And with Tuchel, I think he's too central. He likes to cut in and take long shots and curl it into the top corner, or like swing like long balls across. And I just think he doesn't really fit Tuchel's system.
Yeah.
He doesn't really he doesn't give off the vibe that he's like fighting for his position in the team. Like it looks like he just doesn't really care.
Yeah, the work rate just isn't there.
And I understand like Mason Mount is kind of a lock. You know what I mean? Like you're not really going to take Mason Mount out of the lineup because he's class. He's so good. And then you have Lukaku, who when healthy, also probably a lock. I know he's been on, like, before he was injured, he wasn't on a great run of form, but Lukaku's pretty much a lock.
Yeah.
And then you're also competing with Timo Werner and Kai Havertz and Cho and Pulisic when he's healthy. So, like, I understand, like, it's hard, but he just doesn't seem like he wants it, you know?
Yeah. And I think the thing with those players that you just mentioned is that one thing I will say, passion. They all have that passion for the bridge. Like, and you could tell that too, like Werner, Lukaku, Havertz, like they, great work rates. They've been vocal about their love for the club. Mount's an academy boy. Pulisic, since he came in, even though he's been memed online for being American, but he's been like, you could tell he really wants, be a successful player at Chelsea. So it's like, yeah, they all have that drive and determination. And like you said, I feel like Ziyech just hasn't shown that compared to like those players.
Which I thought he had, I thought he did, but I don't know. He just doesn't really. He just has moments. He has moments of like actual like brilliance. Like he looks like old Ziyech, like he looks like he's really good. Even against Newcastle, he had one shot. I think it hit the post.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, I saw the deflection. Yeah.
He has his moments of like doing really good, or even in the Carabao Cup, I'm pretty sure, or it might have been the FA Cup, but he got the assist for Havertz's goal.
Yeah.
The beautiful cross off a corner, and I just think, like I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to sell him. I just don't think he's giving us enough to keep him, and I'd rather play Cho, and I'd also rather play Havertz, and I'd also rather play Pulisic, and I'd also rather play Mount. So I'd rather get rid of him.
Yeah. And I feel like when he came in, he was kind of like expected to be like, the guy. And, he was good under Lampard, like you mentioned, but now it's like, okay, it's kind of disappointing. Let's bring in Havertz. Okay, it's disappointing. Let's bring in Timo. And it's like all these players that have come in since have just been better. So I could definitely see why Chelsea fans are like, would want to move on from
especially because also another thing you have to take into account is we saw Werner as like our goal scorer.
Yeah.
He came and he became another creator, which made another spot that Ziyech had to fight for.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it's hard. There's a lot of attacking options there to compete with on Chelsea. I just think it's best for everyone for him to move on now. Even if we don't recoup all of our money, like, I don't really care. Chelsea are rich. So I'm perfectly fine with him moving on.
Maybe sell him to like a small club like Spurs so we could get into the
Apparently, Inter and AC are both interested.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. Go to AC Milan, or Inter, whatever, and maybe he can find his form again. I wouldn't really care.
Yeah. The ship has just really sailed.
Because we have other people, it doesn't affect me as much. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Ziyech is playing bad. Okay, we just throw in Mount. Like, okay, like whatever. Cho playing on the left has been really good so far this season. Even another shocker I wanted to talk about, Ross Barkley, the resurgence.
The big man.
He's coming back, and he's actually getting like some minutes under Tuchel. So, it's kind of crazy. I never thought I'd see Ross Barkley suit up for Chelsea ever again.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I didn't think he was good enough. Like,
yeah.
There was one moment in that Newcastle game, where like we're on a counter. Reece James is making a beautiful run, and he stops the play completely to do a bunch of step overs. And I was sitting there like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then like I wouldn't have been mad if like he actually tried something and like went for a shot or something. But then he just did a couple step overs, dragged the ball back, and passed it back.
Yeah.
I was like, what was the point?
Yeah, like when I was watching that, I thought it was like, offside and he knew or something. And then like you said, James is running in. I think someone else made a run. And then, then he just, dropped it back and, reset the play. I was like, bruh, it's a counterattack. Like we need.
Yeah, like you just destroyed the whole play. But besides that, like he actually looks like good. Like he's trying things. Obviously he's not ever going to be a regular starter. That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But he's solid, man. He's coming back, and I think I think for now, like he's getting minutes over Saul.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, so yeah.
Same with Loftus-Cheek. Like Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been amazing for us so far this season. So um, I don't know if Saul is ever really going to get like
Yeah. I think his if I'm not mistaken, the game that just happened, I think the commentator said that that was his first away appearance for Chelsea, like all season in the Prem, which I thought was surprising. So it's like, oh damn, I like it's November tomorrow and he's only played one away game. So yeah,
because in the Prem we've been subbing in Loftus-Cheek and like Conte,
yeah,
and like we haven't really needed him. The one time that we did use him, he looked bad,
yeah,
and then we played him against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup, I think, and didn't look great. But he's slowly like getting in. Like he came on at the end of this game, with like 2 minutes left. Um, I don't know. I don't think he's really gonna. I think we're not gonna buy him at the end of the season. He
yeah.
doesn't look amazing. But maybe who knows?
Yeah, but I
Um,
think the highlight though of that game, Reece James himself making
yeah,
St. James's Park, Reece James's Park.
Reece James's Park, bro.
Yes.
Saint Reece James's Park. That like he was phenomenal, man. The two strikes, right foot, left
Yeah,
foot,
they were
just
world class. That first that rocket with the left foot, that
yeah.
was such a good goal.
Like
Goal had no chance,
people don't
composed.
know he was a striker in the academy for Chelsea. So that's why he's actually like good at finishing. Like his goal against Norwich, that little chip over the keeper. Like
Yeah,
that's stuff you see like Messi and like Havertz doing and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he can score, man. He's our fullbacks are top goal scorers.
Yeah, him and Chile,
So,
yeah. So
uh
and that right foot, the composure off the open net, it was just a world class finish too.
yeah.
So Reece James.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek again, like moving the play forward. He's so good at transitioning the ball from midfield up into their third. He's really good. And then so yeah, like Reece James, he's quality. I was honestly for me, I was very upset Jorginho didn't give him the penalty.
Yeah, for sure. Reece James has been like class at taking penalties in your guys' shootouts recently. So it wouldn't even have been like, oh well, Jorginho's the penalty. Like Reece James would probably have scored the penalty as well. So I
Yeah,
feel like Jorginho probably should have just been like, yo, come here, take the penalty. But
yeah. I know there's like a hierarchy, but come on, man. Like let him get his hat trick, bro. Like
I mean, you obviously know more than me, but I would say Reece James is probably the second best penalty taker at the club behind Jorginho. So it's
well,
like,
if Lukaku's healthy, like
oh yeah,
Lukaku is amazing in penalties,
yeah,
but probably, yeah, he's probably like third.
yeah.
Or
So
like,
it's
he's
like,
top five for sure.
yeah, it wouldn't even been like, an outlandish thing to been like, yo,
Mhm.
James, come take it. Like he probably would have scored. So
Yeah. No, he's been class at penalties. He's been taking our winning penalties. Like he's been
yeah.
taking our last ones. And he's been taking amazing penalties. It was very shocking to me. It was almost as shocking as like Maguire in the final of the Euros. When I saw him going up for a pen, I was like, Maguire?
Yeah.
Really?
I
And he
remember
just
that.
top ins.
Yeah, me and my dad were like, no, like why is he on it? And then honestly, that might be one of the best penalties I've ever seen in my life. Just
Yeah,
insane, just right in the top
class.
corner. But yeah, we don't got to talk about that penalty shootout, obviously.
Italy still won. That made me so happy. Um, but yeah, Jorginho could have given the pen to Reece James, but not a big deal, I
Like
guess.
he knows he needs to get that goal record up for his Ballon d'Or shouts. He has to make sure he's still
He
relevant.
deserves it, bro. He
Yeah,
deserves Ballon d'Or.
yeah.
So then you want to talk about the Liverpool game?
Oh, Liverpool, the great club that apparently has all the best players of all time. You know, they just beat us 5-0. So you would think that Brighton and Hove Albion at home would be, an easy dub. But, they're not a big club. Okay, no, obviously they are. But yeah, Henderson with a world-class strike to start off.
That was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Henderson, England captain. So, like, of course, I rate him. But yeah, so I was happy for him to get on the score sheet. And I think, Naby Keita getting injured, after he did fake an injury last
If
week against
to
Pogba.
get Pogba a red, that was not a red. I don't
That
care
was,
what anyone
yeah,
says. It
it was
wasn't a
just
red.
not a red at all. So I think one person, I think the standout for Liverpool that day, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain, I got to give him his credit. He had an
Nice assist.
amazing assist. Like that assist was so good to Sadio Mane. And Sadio Mane was once the best player in the world at one point. So that header was just a world-class finish too. So
Yeah.
the thing I could appreciate about Liverpool and just respect, from a mutual is that their football is amazing. Like they play very good together as a team. Van Dijk helped set up that goal when he
Oh, that
headed
was a
the
great
goal and
pass.
he whipped it down to
Yeah.
Salah. So just I feel like they're like, a well-oiled machine. And so, yeah, I wasn't even surprised when they scored. But, Brighton, they have the hearts of, like a bottom team. So they were coming back. They've been amazing this year, on
Yeah.
form. So I'm struggling with his name, but Mbappe scored an
Liverpool.
amazing
That was a goal and a half, bro.
banger.
That was amazing, man. What a
Yeah,
strike.
he beat Allison. It's funny. Liverpool fans are saying, "Oh, it's okay. The sun was in his eyes, so nothing he could do." It's like, no, that is a world class strike
Yeah.
from Rapu. He is, an amazing finish, and so it was 2.5. So you never know. But then Brighton the second half just not backing down, and I feel like Trossard had an amazing game, probably man of the match. He scored a great goal off an Lallana's pass. But the most unlucky thing was when Lamptey came on. I know he's a former Chelsea man. He was
Yeah.
just running at those
He
defenders.
looked really good when he came
Yeah,
on, man.
he
I
set
think
up.
Brighton looked good in general, though.
Yeah, like this year they've been like really good. And
I
he gets.
expected Liverpool to win that game,
Yeah,
because they've obviously been class, but um, they had a goal disallowed. Like I think Brighton, like they looked like they wanted it.
yeah,
They were fighting hard and they were making good runs, making good passes. Trossard
yeah.
had a couple chances.
Lamptey set him up perfectly, but then it was like a fraction offside. But yeah, Trossard had an amazing game.
Yeah,
Like we mentioned, Lamptey was lively coming off the bench. So yeah, like full credit to Brighton for coming back, because 2-0 down against Liverpool at home, or sorry, away to Anfield is like, a big task. So the fact that he got, a point, like that's a massive result for them.
yeah. I want to talk about the Liverpool defense. Okay, just
Yes.
real quick, because I think you and I have both seen that they haven't been at their I think their attack has been like just as good as it's probably ever been. They've
Yeah.
looked
Sure.
phenomenal in attack, but their defense is shaky sometimes. And like
Yeah.
Robertson hasn't been at his highest level. I think Trent has been pretty good. Van Dyke, obviously not at his top level. I know he's coming back from a big injury, but
Yeah.
he's he's not near his top level. Like he's still like a solid defender. And Matip is like he's solid, but they're just not looking as good as they used to. Like I see Allison having to bail them out a lot, and he's a world class keeper. He's probably like top 3 keeper in the world right now.
Yeah.
He's insane. But their defense, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Like, yeah, I think the main issue is Van Dijk, like you mentioned, just because he came off that injury. As you know, like I'm a big fan of Van Dijk. Crazy, I support a lot of the players, but yeah, I'm a big Van Dijk fan. So I think, yeah, him and Matip, him and Kunate have been, not up to the best. And like you said, Allison does bail them out a lot. But I think, the main issue for me is that like at certain times Fabinho is not playing, and he's been like world class for them. He's that center defensive mid that, holds up the fort. So I feel
Mhm.
like when he's not playing, like it really does show. And despite him not playing versus United and us losing 5-0, but there are times where like he is missed. So I think, yeah, but the thing with Liverpool is that I feel like because they're such like an experienced team together, similar to how we talk about the Lakers, I think they'll kind of ease into the season. So I'm not like, as a rival fan, I'm scared, because I think by Christmas time, I think they'll have stuff figured out, similar to Man City last year. But yeah, definitely right now, there's been like a drop off in their defensive play, because again, even though my team lost 5-0, you can score against Liverpool. Brighton had 2 goals against them. So I feel like if you just attack, and you don't put your foot off the gas, you could actually like break them down and score.
And a lot of Liverpool fans say the best way to play against them is just go like blow for blow. Like
Yeah,
don't try and sit back because you're just gonna get overwhelmed. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
exactly.
Salah will find a way. So the best thing is to just also try and score a lot right now because their defense just it's been a little shaky. Trent has never been like a great defender.
Yeah,
So he gets taken advantage of, and I thought Van Dyke, like in the past, had always covered for him, but now that Van Dyke isn't at his best, it's showing.
yeah,
Um, obviously Trent is like a world class right back. Like he has potential to be the best right back the Premier League's ever seen. in my opinion. Like whether you want to say that's Gary Neville or Ivanovic or whatever. I think he has potential to be the best right back, but for me, like until he works on his defensive game, he can't, bro. For
Yeah.
me, you know how I feel about like left back and right back. They need to be able to defend too.
Yeah.
That's in my like just my opinion. That's why I've always rated Wan-Bissaka high. I know
Yeah.
he has a mistake in him, but he's a class defender, and we saw that against Tottenham.
Yeah.
We didn't even bring him up.
Yeah.
He
That
was
block against Son was like amazing.
he was so good, man.
And
I think he deserves more praise. He gets hated on too much.
yeah. And I think, yeah, that's the difference between like, Liverpool fans, they have such a blind eye when trying to talk to them about Trent. But like, to me, the ability to like come up against like, Son, Sterling, even like Neymar in the Champions League, Mahrez in the Premier League, like to come up against world-class wingers like that and like clamp them down and give them a hard time, to me, at least, is much more impressive than running up the pitch and whipping a ball in. Because like, I'm not saying Trent isn't like a bad player, but to me, like, the ability to be a lockdown fullback is what I want more than the ability to run up the pitch and just, there's Bobby Firmino and Mane. Let me just cross it in.
This is why, and hear me out. You could say Chelsea bias, but currently I think Reece James is the best right back in the world. Not in the world, in the Prem.
Yeah.
My bad. I think because like Wan-Bissaka is better defensively than
Yeah.
Reece James, and Trent is better offensively than Reece James. But Reece James is like very very good at both sides,
Yeah.
whereas Wan-Bissaka attacking is not great. We saw like some moments, especially even in that Tottenham game,
Yeah. That's very
but
deep.
and I think he's underrated offensively sometimes. But Reece James is clear
Yeah.
offensively, and I think defensively, compared to Trent, Reece James is also clear. So the on just based on like recent form, the past like just the beginning of this season and even the end of last season, Reece James has been phenomenal, man. He's been so good defensively for us, using his body, he's so strong, and then offensively, as you've seen, our top goal scorer. He's been setting up a lot of goals, making great runs, and I expected him to be a really good link up with Lukaku, and we were seeing that at the beginning because last year he was whipping in balls, but no one was getting to them. Like Havertz. Sometimes I feel like he's 6'2" for no reason. You know, like like his positioning isn't always the best, and he doesn't always have like the drive inside the box to like just get that header. That's why I thought him like Reece James and Lukaku would be. So that I don't know, like I could just be being biased, but in my opinion, right now Reece James is the best right back in the Prem.
Yeah, like that's a decent shout. I've been impressed with him this season more than last season, to be honest. So I think he's like, leveled up as a
Yeah.
player. So I think, yeah, I definitely see that. And, it does help his case when, Trent, to me, Trent hasn't been at his best. And, because of that, like it really shows like, Reece James, he's a proper player. Like, look at how good he's been on both sides. And, like you mentioned, like Wan-Bissaka hasn't been the best going forward, but he's still been pretty good defensively. But, I think Reece James is playing both sides. I know you said very good, but I think you could argue at like almost a world-class level. Like I feel like there's no doubts anymore. Cause I remember like when I first used to watch him, they'd be like, okay, is he kind of shaky at both? But now I feel like, okay, like I'm confident in him. Like if he was my right back for England, like next year, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Like we have a really good two-way right back. So I think he's like a world-class player, like or on the cusp of it at least. So
I agree. I agree. I think he's world class in his position for sure. Last season, I was never worried defensively. I thought Reece James was always great defensively. It was just offensively, like you could see the holes in his game, but it seems like he's starting to like get better offensively, and he can only go up from here. I think he's 21, so
yeah.
like to be at this level at 21 for a Champions League winning side and a Premier League contender, and you're a lock in the rotation. I don't know. For me, world class for sure.
Yeah, I really rate Reece James. And he's English too. So like, hopefully World Cup 2022, Southgate gives him a chance. So
It's okay. It's okay, France. Arsenal Leicester.
yes, the mighty Arsenal have been on a nice run of form. See, the thing about Arsenal, and like I can't take them seriously as a big club, or sorry, a contender anymore. But I will say they have been on a nice run of form. We all know how some Arsenal fans feel about Smith Rowe and Saka.
Oh my
They,
gosh.
they've been pretty good. Smith Rowe's had a nice hot streak. He scored again against
Yeah.
Leicester, and yeah, like they started off the game strong. Gabriel scored
Gabriel.
early,
Gabriel with a header.
great header from him. So yeah, I think Arsenal. I don't want to call this like reactionary to say that okay they're back, but I definitely think like they're on the right track now, which is like good for them as a club.
Trust the process.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I've never been high on like me, like I've always was like a Wenger guy as like a mutual. Like if I was like okay,
Same.
yeah, like Arsenal, I think Wenger was the epitome of their club. So to replace him with Unai Emery, I like this. I said from the start that was a bad idea, and to
Yeah.
replace Emery with Arteta, like I'm not saying it's now a bad idea, but at that moment in time, I thought it wasn't the right thing for the club. But I think now after what's he been there for like 2 seasons now, 3 seasons, I think they finally like they have an identity now, which is what
Yeah,
Arsenal
like
did
I see the vision.
Yeah,
I see what he's trying to do. I still don't think he's a great manager,
yeah,
but I see what he's trying to do.
yeah.
I think the entire Arsenal fan base owes one big apology to Wenger.
I agree
Um,
strongly with that. Yeah,
their owners are terrible, and he covered for them so hard over the years. So I think they all owe him a huge apology. But yeah, Arteta, man, he looks like he has like an actual direction for the club. Saka has been one of the best youngsters in the Prem.
yeah,
Smith Rowe emerging. I think Odegaard was a good signing. Ramsdale, at first, I clowned it. I
yeah.
thought
I did too. I can't
30
lie.
million, but that performance against Leicester, man,
He's
and this season he's
pretty
been
good.
quality. I wanted to get your thoughts since you support England. Um, you think he should be first choice goalkeeper?
So yeah, this has been a great conversation with a lot of people. So I'm gonna do it as if I'm the manager and not Southgate, because to me, Southgate's always gonna pick Pickford. Because I think for England, Pickford, he like goes to a next level, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
He is shaky at times on the ball, but Jordan Pickford, if you didn't watch him at Everton, you would think, okay, this guy's definitely a top 5 keeper in his league. And then you watch him at Everton, and there are times it's like, how is he in the team? But I think Ramsdale this season has been playing better, like in the Prem. He's had more notable appearances. But I think it's good because it gives competition to the England team. And I know he hasn't played that much, but like Dean Henderson was kind of the same last season. I was like, yo, Henderson definitely was better than Pickford for me in the league. But once England starts, it's like, okay, Pickford's gonna be the starting goalkeeper. So I think he has to fight for his place, but through his season play. Because if I'm Southgate, it's like, okay, we have an emerging talent right here. And I think Ramsdale is probably better than Henderson just because of, experience now and he's actually playing for the top team.
yeah.
So I
It's hard to
think,
be informed if you're not actually getting game time.
yeah. So I think now that we've seen Ramsdale, it's like, okay, like who says he can't replicate this for England? So I think the decision for me that I would make is who do I think is better, Arsenal Ramsdale or England Jordan Pickford? And if I'm Southgate, if I'm confident in Pickford, and I think he should start because I'm a big fan of Pickford for England. But if by the end of the year Ramsdale is like, I'm not saying he will be, but if he gets in like a PFA team of the year or like a young players team of the year, however it works, or some sort of like award or recognition, then I think he should start. Honestly, it's gonna be like take a long process to get rid of Pickford, similar to Joe Hart for all those years. But I think if he keeps this up and shows he could be like consistent and like, I think he's playing at an elite level for himself. So if he continues that, I would have no problems with him being the starting goalkeeper come World Cup.
Yeah, I thought Leno was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought he got a lot of hate for some reason. I thought he was one of their like better players, but Ramsdale has just been better. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I also think uh, Benjamin White, he,
Benjamin, right? Yeah.
he's also been very solid.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that's been helping.
Yeah.
But I think Ramsdale like he deserves a shout. Maybe try him out in the lesser games,
Yeah.
maybe like qualifiers and stuff. Um, and just see like how he works. If it doesn't work, just go back to Pickford because he's pretty consistent for England.
Yeah.
Um, his distribution is always garbage. Uh, but for England, like his saving ability, it just I don't
Yeah.
know why, but
Yeah.
for
He
Everton,
turns
he just can't
mod.
do it.
Yeah.
Like he's
Like
been actually like pretty bad for Everton. Like Everton have been
exactly. Yeah.
conceding a lot, but like when it comes to England, like
He
So
turns into a new player. Like there's something about him. Like he turns
yeah,
into we call him Air Jordan Pickford. He turns into like something crazy for England. And yeah,
but
okay, his distribution still isn't good, but like he looks like a phenomenal keeper for the national team.
and there are like those players sometimes. It happens where like for their club, they're not as good as like they are for their country. I don't know if it's like a passion thing or the players they're around or the coach. We've seen it with Pogba over the years. He's obviously he's reached like top performance levels at Man United. People who disagree with me, whatever, I don't even want to have a conversation. He
Yeah.
has been elite for Man United,
Yeah.
but it's just not consistent.
Yeah.
You know, like he'll go out and he'll look like, oh my God, that's Pogba, like one of the best midfielders in the world. And then he'll go out and he'll look like I didn't even know he was on the pitch today.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like a manager thing or it's just like I know he's very passionate about France. We've seen him in the halftime team talks and just how he acts on the pitch. He obviously cares a lot, which I love Pogba for.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's that with Jordan Pickford. Maybe he just really loves England. Just doesn't really care about Everton. Like, fair enough. Everton suck, but yeah, it's hard to replace Pickford for sure. But I don't know. Ramsdale has been class. I think great signing by Arteta.
Yeah.
It's gonna kind of sting that out of Lampard, Ole, and Arteta is probably gonna stay in his job the longest.
Yeah.
When I thought he's the worst out of the three.
Yeah. But see, the reason why though, and this is kind of like what I picked up on earlier, is that when Chelsea had Lampard, they're in like, okay, we need to win now. And obviously, you guys did win after he was gone. Same thing with like Ole. I think, again, I'm not going to say once he leaves, we're going to win everything, but we could win. But I think
I have the squad for it.
yeah, but I think with Arsenal, they're in a position where like whether it was Arteta, could have been Zidane, could have been anyone. I don't think that they were put together to win now. So I think that's why this whole trust the process, not trying to copy the Philadelphia 76ers, but the whole trust the process, it actually works with Arsenal because you got to think back to when he came in, even though they weren't getting results and it was all trust the process, but they weren't competing for the league. They weren't, they lost the Europa League to I forget who it was now. Wait, didn't they lose it to you actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they lost Europa League to you. So it's not like they were even like competing to win anything before he came in. So after it's like, okay, we got Smith Rowe, got Saka, Aubameyang was still in, somewhat for him. Xhaka was playing decent. So I think since that they give him like the time for his project, I think it's actually worked out. So I will give him his credit there.
Yeah, I thought, how I feel. Like obviously Lampard, club legend. I love Lampard. I wanted him to stay. I didn't want to sack him because I saw like the glimpses of where we were going. I saw what he was trying to build. Obviously, I don't think he was ready for the Chelsea job at that moment, but I was willing to wait a few years. It's just that's not how Chelsea operate.
Yeah.
They're not willing to wait a few years. But for me, I was upset when we sacked him. Yes, we were ninth and we were kind of on a bad run, but we were 4 points off of the top four.
Yeah.
Like anything happened. It was still like I think like 9 games in the season or something, or like I don't even know 14 games. I don't remember exactly, but I just know we were like close to top four. A couple different games, a couple of different wins or whatever, and we're back into it. So for me, I wanted him to stay, but obviously now looking in hindsight, like we won the Champions League.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have done that with Lampard. So I'm not mad anymore. I'm obviously very happy with Tuchel. He's been world class. Like I said, I think he's the best manager in the world right now. Obviously, you can argue Klopp, Pep. Yeah, Klopp, Pep, probably that's it. But I think like out of the three, in my opinion, again Chelsea bias probably. I thought Lampard was the best. I thought that first season he came in, we just lost Hazard.
Yeah.
Probably one of our best players of all time. And we got Pulisic. That's it. And he still got us top four.
Yeah, just
like, I was expecting us to be like mid-table. Like I was expecting like 8th, like an Arsenal season. And he got us top four, and I was so happy because I was like, oh my God, like I see the progress. Tammy Abraham
Mount,
looking
yeah,
looking class. Mount is in it. Reece James. I was like, because and Tomori, like we've been a club that we're very focused on, bringing in the best talent, not really developing. So when I saw, oh, we're bringing in Lampard who's going to develop, and we're bringing in all these academy boys who he's also going to develop, that made me so happy.
yeah,
But we wouldn't have won. We wouldn't have won the Champions League without Lampard
yeah,
coming in the first place. He set us up on that path because without Mason Mount, winning assists, without Reece James, amazing in that game and amazing in the Champions League final, the whole run.
yeah,
Reece James and Mason Mount, like without them, those are key additions. And then look at the signings he made. Timo Werner made that run, and scored against Madrid, and then Havertz also his signing. So I think without Lampard, we wouldn't have won the Champions League. He set us up on that path. For me, he was the best out of the three. It's just the job he was given was the hardest out of the three.
yeah,
You could argue Man U as well. Like they're all hard jobs.
yeah.
But I think like Chelsea, where we were going, like we had just won the Europa League and then we lost Hazard. It was like, oh, I was scared.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I wanted to ask you, just because we were just talking about it, I want you to rank Ole, Arteta, and Lampard.
Okay.
Your opinion.
It's hard for me to rank Lampard today just because he doesn't have the job anymore. But like, see, if I'm gonna base it off of the season where he came top four, because I know United and Chelsea finished third and fourth respectively, and they had the same amount of points. So it was like they pretty much tied, like goal difference for the side. It was like a tie. So see, but it's kind of hard now because today I would say for like just themselves personally, I think like might be unpopular opinion, but I think Arteta's actually doing the best for himself like today at this moment,
Today at this moment, I know,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about just rank them as on their managing ability. Like where do you think they are, like just as like a manager? Like let's say you're Newcastle and Lampard, Ole, and Arteta are all available. What's the order that you're going in?
Okay. This might be like okay, I'm happy to use Newcastle. So Newcastle specifically are calling on the door in the summer of the window. I think I would go like, okay, it might be I'm going bold, okay? Going bold, but I would go from 3-1. I would go okay, I think I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna go Lampard, Ole, Arteta.
Okay.
Because I know, okay, because you made it easier because you said Newcastle. I think if I'm a team where it's like I need a process manager, like I think Arteta might be the best one, genuinely, because we've seen it at Arsenal right now. Because I don't think Newcastle are gonna think to themselves, okay, in 2022 we need to win the treble. Like I don't think so, despite the takeover. So I think because Arteta's a manager that has shown in a process situation, he could somewhat succeed and is still succeeding because, the season's not over yet. Who knows what might happen at the end of the year. But I think for that reason, I think I'd actually go Arteta if it was like in a Newcastle situation. However, if it was like a top club, it would be a debate between Ole and Lampard. I wouldn't make Arteta like the manager of like a top 4 team out of those three.
That's fair. Here's like I'm just gonna lobby this argument towards you, right? The season just before Lampard came in, we went to the Europa League final with Arsenal, right? And obviously we destroyed them, but we both made it to the same final of a competition. So we were around the same level. And then we lost Hazard. Right? So if we're both in the final of the Europa League, we lose our best player, and then Lampard comes in and gets us top 4. And I don't remember where they finished that season, but
I think it was okay. Don't quote me, but it was either 5th or 6th. I think they played Europa League the next year. So it was
I think it was probably 5th or 6th. So like team wise, we weren't far off. Like our talent was not far off of Arsenal, and Lampard got more out of our younger, not experienced players because he wasn't playing Rudiger. He didn't really like Rudiger. He wasn't playing He wasn't playing Kovacic that much. He was playing Conte out of position sometimes. Uh, and Marcus Alonso was pretty fed up. We had a lot of players that were like unhappy.
Yeah.
And for him to get top four with Kepa and net, I just think for me, if I'm starting like a new journey with my club, and I want someone to get the best out of my younger new players, I'd pick Lampard or Ole. Um, I think Ole also can build a good environment to set you up to get someone to replace him.
Yeah.
Because I think Lampard, like, because the way I'm looking at Newcastle is they're getting a huge influx of money, and they need someone to build them up until they're ready to get that elite manager and win.
Yeah.
So for me, I think my top pick would probably be Lampard and then Ole and then Arteta. But I guess that's just our different view on Newcastle. Because for me, like, they're going to get a bunch of money. They're going to buy a bunch of good players and probably some young players. And I think, honestly, maybe Ole is the shout over Lampard because he's shown that he's good at getting everyone to buy into the system and care about winning again. Because it looks with you guys before he came in, like no one really cared. You know, with Mourinho, it was bad. I think Mourinho is finished as a manager, so like I can't really blame the Man United players for not really wanting to play for him. The last season for Chelsea before we hired Conte, Hazard didn't care about playing for, like, he took a year off basically. That's the year we came 10th.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hazard basically took a year off. So I think like the fact that Ole came into where your team was, that's why I also have really big respect for Conte. Like, we came 10th, and then the next year we won the league.
Yeah.
Like, Victor Moses looked world class under Conte. Like, it was insane. Marcus Alonso. So that's why I think Conte would be like perfect for you guys.
Yeah.
To get us from 10th.
Yeah, I think what I'll say now then, if Newcastle needed, like, if they're in the position where they were saying, all right, we're going to choose one of the three to be like a long-term manager, that's where I would go the ranks that I did. But I think, yeah, like you said, if it was more of like a transitional period where it's like, all right, we need someone to kickstart the club before we replace them, then I would probably do your order. So yeah, or no, I would probably do Ole, Lampard, and then Arteta.
Yeah, that's fair. I think if you're doing a long-term, I understand Arteta. But for me, I don't think Arteta is even capable of winning a title with Arsenal in the future. I think he's still just kind of a building manager, but he just has more time than Ole and Lampard.
Yeah.
Ole and Lampard built something very fast. Obviously, they had more investment and more backing, but Arsenal spent the most this transfer window.
Yeah.
So I think over a long-term period, like I understand Arteta, but the way I'm looking at Newcastle is they're getting like hundreds of millions of dollars in investment right away.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like they're trying to probably win by like win a trophy by like 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
So I would think like Lampard and Ole can build something fast with new players coming in because they did it.
Yeah.
Arteta is more like a process.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I guess it's just how you view Newcastle. But yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Like, I think the biggest thing that I will say about Arteta, because like at first I was like, get this guy out, need Wenger back. But like in all seriousness now, like now that I've seen him, I think the most impressive thing about his reign at Arsenal now today is that they now have like an identity. Like before at Arsenal, you didn't know what you were going to get. And that wasn't a good thing, you know, because they could be a world-class team. You know, they would turn up against teams like, you know, Chelsea and United. I remember they didn't win a game in like 10 games. But, you know, sorry, they only won one game in 10 games. That was against Manchester United, of course. So that was, you know, they do stuff like that. But I think now they have like, okay, Arsenal, you know you're going to play against, and it's like a good team. So I think that's really good for Arteta that he established that. I could actually say like a mutual, like, okay, that's like impressive because of the mess that Arsenal have been in the past couple of years. So yeah. I think I'm going to give him that respect, even though I was very harsh on him before. I think now you see how good Smith Rowe and Saka have been together. Sambi and Partey are looking, good now that Partey.
Tomiyasu, he
Yeah,
actually looked like a
Tomiyasu.
competent signing. Like, he looks
Yeah.
good.
And like that was a deadline day signing too. So like they brought him in last minute. Everyone laughed at it. Now he's like, he's cert. And same with Ramsdale, like we mentioned.
Tavares,
Yeah,
whatever he made an insane run against Leicester.
yeah,
He he looked pretty good. The signings have actually been pretty good.
yeah. So it's like,
Um,
yeah, credit to Arteta for like coming around. It was a longer process compared to, Ole and Lampard, like we said. But now it's like, now he could actually put his foot on the gas pedal and see where he goes from here.
yeah. What are your thoughts on Leicester quickly? Losing Arsenal.
Okay, so here's my thing. So this might be a common theme in this podcast, but I just saw Leicester City do an absolute masterclass against my team just 2 weeks ago, 4-2 at the King Power Stadium. So I think now this is kind of like, I'm not gonna say it's all on Brandon Rodgers, but to me, it's kind of laziness because you can't have a masterclass performance like did against United, who are much better than Arsenal on paper, just talent-wise, so much better, and then look incompetent again against Arsenal. So
Yeah,
I think I'm not going to blame everything on the manager, obviously, but the manager probably
unless
should.
it's all.
Yeah, yeah, he should probably take some responsibility for like incompetence and maybe like, maybe they're struggling to find their identity because this year they haven't even been their best. But of course, against
No.
United, they play like gods. But I think an underrated signing long term will be Paston Daka. He's been
Yeah,
really good since he's been there, and I think
scored 4
yeah,
in the
game.
Europa League.
Yeah. And I think, the problem with Leicester was always okay, who are we gonna use after Vardy? I know they brought in what's his name? Yeah, Iheanacho they had Slimani, and I feel like both those players didn't like at the time they didn't show that they
Iheanacho looked really good at the end of last season. I
yeah,
think he's a good center forward. I don't think he's a pure striker,
yeah,
but he's like, I think honestly for Liverpool, I think Iheanacho would be a great replacement for Firmino,
yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah.
If he's playing at that level that he was at the end of last season, he
Yeah.
looked class.
Yeah. But I think now with like Daka, just I've been really impressed with him. And he fucking scored against us. Of course he did. So I think with him, I think maybe in like 2 years' time, because Vardy is getting up there. I think now they actually have like a proper player to build the team around. So whether Rodgers is there or not, I think it's good that they kind of have like in NBA terms, like a franchise player now in Daka to build up upon in the future. So yeah, right now I don't even know what's going on with them in terms of their.
To be fair, like losing Fofana is a big loss. Like he was class last year, so I I think they'll find their form, but again, I just think Brendan Rodgers isn't that guy.
Yeah, and he might stay alive by the end of the year. He might be gone. So I think whether it's like a management problem or the players themselves, I don't know what it is, but I think in 2 years' time they'll be like a different club in the sense of like I don't think Rodgers will be there. I think Vardy will be gone or he'll be slowing down. But yeah, I think Paston Dak is like a really good signing long term for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. So do you want to do next week's predictions?
Yo, I think we should. We got some good games next week. I think the headline is definitely the Manchester Derby.
Yeah, for sure. So what are your thoughts?
So I've said this my whole life. Manchester City could be on like this, they could be undefeated. United could generally be in 20th place, and I would still back us to win the Derby. Like no matter what the circumstances, I don't care. I think we're always going to win that game because we're Manchester United. We're just the bigger club, and Manchester's red. So I think for the Derby, despite recent struggles, against Leicester and Liverpool more recently, I think we're going to come through. I think we're going to sort it out. We got Ronaldo. This is his first Manchester Derby in years. Fun fact: his last goal for us, the first time, was against Manchester City. So maybe he'll score again. I think the Pogba miss is going to be a lot. Like
he always gets up for that game.
Yeah,
Pogba always plays good against Man City.
Yeah, but I think honestly, I think this could be a turning point in the season for us. I know, like, there's been a lot of rumors about Ole leaving X, Y, and Z, but I think we'll show out. I don't know off the top of my head if it's at home or away. It doesn't really matter because with Man U, it's just whatever. But honestly, I could see us maybe keeping a clean sheet. To be honest, my prediction in my head was 2-0 against City. I don't know who our starters are going to be because Ole likes to change it up. But I would really hope that we play this again with two strikers with Cavani and Ronaldo, just because they're so smart together. And I think they'd give like Ruben Dias like a really hard time. And maybe I think John Stones will play or whoever they have. But I think it'll be like a really good matchup.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I agree with pretty much everything you said. Um, I don't think you guys are gonna keep a clean sheet. I'm gonna go 3-2 Man United.
That would be a proper game. I would love that because
Yeah, I think they're still gonna score, but I think Ronaldo is gonna come up big. You know, we'll see how your defense pans out. Maguire not been on his best form recently. Like he was all right against Tottenham, but he wasn't spectacular. I thought Varane was a lot better.
yes.
Maguire hasn't been on great form, so I don't feel great saying you guys are going to get a clean sheet when Luke Shaw hasn't been on his best form, Maguire hasn't been on his best form, and Wan-Bissaka has like a mistake in him too, and so does Brand sometimes. Uh, and De Gea has been class, but
Yeah, it's
I
been
think
very good.
Man City will get at least a goal or two. But I still think Man United will win. I would have been more sure if Pogba was there.
Yeah.
Said he always plays good against Man City, but um, I don't know. Yeah, I still think 3-2. I think you guys will win that very close game. Um, move on to Everton Tottenham.
Ooh, that'll be that's funny that we are just talking about those two a lot. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go bold here. I'm gonna say Everton are going to win 3-0.
Really?
I think Andros Townsend, might score a goal. But I think it's not because I have faith in Everton to score 3 goals, is that I just don't see like again, they could bounce back and win. But to me, I have no belief in Tottenham the way I did last year as like a mutual. So I think they could get routed again. Like it could even be 4. But like I don't see them winning. Like I'm not confident in Tottenham to win a game right now against anyone
The thing
really.
is, I'm not confident in Everton to win a game either, though.
That
So
is true. That's a valid shout.
they've also been quite bad. So personally, I'm gonna say 1-1. I'm gonna say a draw.
Okay, that's valid. I think either 2-0 or 3-0 Everton. That's my bold prediction.
That's fair. Like Tottenham do suck. It's just
Yeah.
so do Everton. Um, Chelsea Burnley.
Ooh, okay. So as Mark Goldbridge likes to say, it's always bloody Burnley. That'll be an interesting game because we all know how Brexit football works. Is Lukaku? Do you know if Lukaku's gonna be playing?
He's not.
He's not. Is Werner out too again? Or?
I think so.
Okay. So
Think about our last 2 games have been without Lukaku and Werner, and we have a combined 10 goals.
that is
Burnley are not great. And we've been keeping clean sheets this whole season. I'm just gonna say 2-0 Chelsea.
Okay. I don't know if this is going too bold, but I think Burnley will get the 3. But now I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know what? Like I could see a 1-0 Chelsea, but at the same time, I could also see a 0-0 because Burnley are either going to be the team that concedes 5 goals in a game, or they're going to play 7 to 8 men back and just as soon as they touch the ball, clear it. And I know obviously Chelsea haven't missed Lukaku on the score sheet and Werner, but hey, maybe this will just be a game where it's like, okay, Reece James and Chilwell can't score, like Mount didn't get a goal, or like, it might happen because Burnley's always been that team. So
yeah,
my gut says 0-0, honestly, but I can see a 1-0 Chelsea result. But for this prediction, I'm gonna go 0-0.
I just think we've actually been like good offensively recently.
Yeah.
So, and Burnley, like they did just win 3-1, but they're on 7 points for the season and we're on 25. Like for me personally, like I think we're also like, oh wow, okay, wow.
Oh, if it is at the bridge, then that could make a big.
Yeah, it's at the bridge.
Okay, no, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with the 1-0 then for Chelsea.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a hard game though for them just because I know again you guys have scored 10 goals in 3 games, whatever it is.
2 games.
But yeah, I know despite Lukaku and Werner not being there, I know you guys have scored, but I think it'll be a tough result. But I think okay, if it's at the bridge, then yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna go 1-0.
Okay. Arsenal Watford.
Ooh.
Watford are shocking. I have them getting relegated.
Yeah, I think they will too. I think Arsenal, see that this is funny because we know the Arsenal fans, they're gonna be like, oh, we've won 7 games in a row and they've been against like these relegation teams. But I think Arsenal should win this easy. Um I'm gonna go 2-0. I hope Aubameyang gets on the score sheet as like a bomb of blood clot.
He's been
Yeah.
okay this season, a lot better than last season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, hmm, yeah, Arsenal 2-0. I think I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
They've looked good defensively, and Watford are just poor.
Yeah.
So I hope Emil Smith Rowe doesn't score because I just don't want to hear it from our friends.
It's better than Greenwood, man.
Like I can't take it. But I think they'll win.
Yeah.
West Ham, Liverpool.
West Ham, Liverpool. See,
West Ham at home.
yeah, the game's probably over, but I wonder if they won today against Villa because they'd be in good form.
They did.
But they did. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let me actually just make sure.
Yeah, because like West Ham have been a really good team. You know how I feel about
Yeah.
that.
Oh my God, they won 4-1.
Bro, did Mikel Antonio score?
He did not.
Okay, it's okay. But Mikel Antonio. But I think so. It's at Hammer Stadium. I'm gonna say okay, even though it is at Hammer Stadium, I think Liverpool will be out for revenge, and I think they're gonna play some good ball against West Ham just to show their dominance. I feel like they'll be inspired because after they drop points. So I'm gonna go 3-1 for Liverpool.
3-1. Okay. It's at the London Stadium. I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2. Maybe Antonio will score some goals.
Maybe. What's the last game?
Got Aston Villa and Southampton.
Aston Villa and Southampton. Oh, and Leeds Leicester.
Oh yeah, Leeds Leicester. That's such a Leicester. That will be like a pretty solid game, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Leicester will come back after this game against Arsenal. I think Leicester 3-1.
3-1 Leicester. Leeds are so like, I don't know. As a United fan, obviously I hate Leeds. But Leeds are like, I hate them because I feel like the fans and like even like the mutual Premier League fans see Bielsa ball or Bielsa and they think it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. All the times that I've actually watched Leeds play, like I personally don't rate them. So I don't rate Leicester. So
it's Bielsa, I think.
Bielsa, yeah.
He's very attacking. He's that manager who is like, we're down 4-0. I don't care. Like,
yeah, exactly. So I think Bielsa ball it's not gonna hold up next week. And I see a comfortable win for Leicester, but I still don't know by how much. So you said what did you say? 3-1. 3-1?
For Leicester. It is Leeds at home.
So they are hosting at the King Power. You know what? I'm gonna go 4-1. I think Leicester they're gonna bounce back.
Leicester's away.
Oh, they're away.
Yeah, Leeds.
Okay, and that kind of changes things then. Because Leeds do have, their attacking threats. So I'm gonna go. I still think Leicester are gonna win, but I think they're gonna. I'm gonna go same with you. I'm gonna go 3-1. I could see them getting a late goal just to
like Rafinha just gets like
I'm gonna go 3-1.
And then Aston Villa, Southampton.
These are two.
Aston Villa are home.
Yeah. I mean, Aston Villa has been pretty disappointing this year.
They've been so disappointing, man. I predicted them to challenge for top 6, and it's just.
And today they lost. I know West Ham, but like lost 4-1 to West Ham. Southampton. That'll be like a decent game. I feel like to watch. I'm just gonna go a 1-1 draw. I'm confident in that.
Yeah, Southampton have actually been decent recently, and Villa have been terrible. But I think I'm gonna agree 1-1 draw. Disappointing for Aston Villa. I thought the additions, Buendia, like he's been terrible for them. Linked with Arsenal.
Yeah, he's still linked, man.
So I thought Buendia was gonna be good. Danny Ings, from Southampton.
From Southampton.
I thought that was gonna be like insane. He's been like all right, but what's his face? Leon Bailey.
Oh yeah, Bailey.
I just thought those signings, and your boy Ashley Young. Just
I think that's what happened. I think Aston Villa had like a set project, and then I think they got Young like late on, and then that's when it all crashed.
it
Bro.
just ruined it all.
Ruined it everything, bro. Their
Best crosser
went
of
down.
all time, bro. He's
Young, the top
he
5 worst
whips in
crosser
the best
that year.
crosses. What?
I said, yeah, he was the top 5 worst crosser that year. Terrible in all of Europe.
Worst crossing percentage in like the top 5 league.
Yeah,
or something.
and he was the Manchester United captain.
Oh, that's pathetic, bro.
Of times.
All right, so I think that's it for this episode of Baud Fawk Sports.
Baud Fawk Sports. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Thank you to everyone, obviously, for tuning in. It's a great first episode, and I feel like this will be a really nice project going forward.
Yeah. So we will be uploading soccer on weekends and basketball probably late in the weekdays. But yeah, so I think we got it all covered. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check it out in the description if you just want to listen. You don't want to actually watch us. And yeah, hope everyone has a great day.